Listen to me. Everybody in here got problems. I'm talking about those big, ugly. I don't know if I can do this. Problems at work. They feel like mountains. You walk into the office and it's like this giant boulder sitting in the middle of your desk saying, "What's up? You ready to fail today?" And some of y'all, the first thing you do is run from it. You check emails. You make coffee. You talk to people who can't solve it for you. You do every except face the thing that's holding you back. Let me give you the secret. Not a trick, not a shortcut, but the truth. The secret to solving big problems at work is this. You've got to attack them with everything you've got before they attack your confidence. Stop thinking the problem is too big. Start realizing your approach has been too small. You don't solve big problems with small energy. You don't solve big problems with a lazy mindset. You've got to go to war with it. You've got to break it down. A big problem is just a lot of little problems holding hands. Tear them apart. Identify the root. Ask the uncomfortable questions. Stop being scared of looking dumb. Be scared of staying stuck. When you face it head on, something happens in your brain. You shift from, "I can't," to, "I will." But that doesn't happen until you start. The secret isn't in knowing every answer before you begin. The secret is starting before you have every answer. I've seen people freeze for days, weeks, even months because the problem was too big. But here's the truth. Most problems aren't as big as the fear you've built around them. The longer you wait, the bigger the monster gets in your mind. The sooner you move, the smaller it becomes in reality. That's why I tell people, don't give problems time to grow. Give solutions time to win. Some of y'all are waiting for the perfect moment to solve something. There is no perfect moment. You want perfect. It's called procrastination's best friend. You've got to take the first ugly, messy step. Make the first phone call. Draft the first plan. Test the first idea. It won't be flawless, but it'll be progress. And progress kills fear. Here's the other part of the secret. Stop trying to be a superhero by yourself. Big problems demand big teams. Use the minds around you. Use the experience in the room. Pride will keep you stuck longer than ignorance ever will. A smart leader isn't the one with all the answers. It's the one who knows how to gather them. And last thing, don't just solve it, learn from it. Big problems are like weights in the gym. If you lift it once, you get stronger for the next time. Every time you solve one, you build a mental muscle. And when the next challenge comes, and trust me, it's coming, you won't panic. You'll smile because you'll remember, I've been here before and I came out stronger. So tomorrow, when you walk into work and see that mountain sitting there, don't hide, don't stall, square up, step forward and start climbing. The secret's not in waiting. The secret's in moving. The secret's in believing that no matter how big the problem looks, you are bigger. If you want, I can also create timestamps, SEO description, hashtags, keywords, and tags so this can be ready for your YouTube upload. Attack problems immediately before they attack your confidence. Don't delay. The longer you wait, the more intimidating the problem becomes. Break big problems into smaller, manageable parts. Big challenges are just smaller issues linked together. Isolate and tackle them one by one. Start before you have every answer. Progress, even imperfect, builds momentum and reduces fear. Don't let fear grow bigger than the actual problem. The longer you hesitate, the bigger the monster gets in your mind. Leverage teamwork and collaboration. Great leaders use the minds and experience of others instead of trying to do it all alone. Learn from every solved problem to grow stronger. Each solved challenge is mental, weight lifting that prepares you for future obstacles. I can also expand each of these 6 points into 500 words of Eric Thomas style fire if you want the full motivational punch. When I say attack the problem, I'm not talking about just touching it. I'm talking about jumping on it with everything you've got before it has a chance to attack you. Problems are predators. They feed off hesitation. They get stronger every day you avoid them. And some of y'all are letting these problems grow so big that by the time you finally face them, you're already in a losing position. You've got to flip that. You've got to be the one who moves first. The best in the world aren't the ones with the least problems. They're the ones who hit their problems fast and hard. They don't wait for the right moment because they know that moment doesn't exist. They create the moment by showing up ready. You've got to decide, I'm not giving this thing a single day to get bigger. If it lands on my desk at 9 a.m., I'm swinging at 9:05. If it hits my inbox at midnight, I'm already thinking of how to crush it by sunrise. Some of you are losing the battle before it starts because you're giving your problems time to get inside your head. You're giving them the advantage. It's like a boxer who refuses to throw the first punch. By the time they finally swing, they're already tired from getting hit. You can't fight like that. Soon pour. You've got to set the tone. When you attack early, you send a message. I'm in control. You're not running me. I'm running you. I'm telling you, the secret weapon isn't just skill, it's speed. Skill without speed is like a loaded gun you never fireable. You can't hesitate, you still lose. So when that big, ugly problem walks through your door, don't take a coffee break. Don't scroll your phone. Don't wait until Monday. That's fear in disguise. Move now. And here's the beauty. When you attack early, you catch problems before they fully form. You get them while they're still manageable. You get to control the fight instead of reacting to it. That builds confidence. That builds momentum. And momentum, once you have it, makes you unstoppable. So stop playing defense. Stop letting fear call the plays. From now on, when the problem comes knocking, you knock harder. You hit first. You hit fast. Because in this game, either you attack the problem or the problem attacks your confidence. And if you lose your confidence, you've already lost everything. You've got to break it down. I'm talking about taking out a mental scalpel and slicing that problem into pieces. Don't look at it like a mountain. Look at it like a series of hills. If you focus on the peak, you'll quit before you take your first step. But if you focus on the next rock, the next step, the next handhold, you'll keep climbing until one day you're standing at the top. This is what the greats understand. They don't panic when they see something huge in front of them. They ask, what's the first piece I can take out right now? They start there because the moment you make that first cut, you shrink the problem. You make it less intimidating. And once it's smaller, your brain stops screaming, this is impossible, and starts whispering, soon might be possible. This might be possible. But here's where some of you mess up. You keep looking at the whole picture. You keep replaying the entire problem in your head over and over until you're exhausted before you even begin. That's mental suicide. You've got to discipline yourself to look at one slice at a time. Win the small battles. Stack those wins until the war is over. Breaking it down isn't just about making the problem manageable. It's about making you confident. Every time you knock out a piece, you build belief in yourself. You start thinking, if I can do this, I can do the next part. And if I can do that, I can finish it. That's how you take something that felt impossible and turn it into something inevitable. Listen, life and business are not about dodging problems. They're about dismantling them. And dismantling takes patience and precision. You can't go in swinging wildly, hoping you'll knock it out in one shot. You've got to take it apart piece by piece, like a mechanic stripping down an engine. Figure out where the bolts are, losing one, then another. Before you know it, the thing that looked like a monster is lying in harmless little pieces on the floor. So the next time You're faced with something overwhelming. Don't let your brain tell you it's too big. Smile at it because you know the truth. It's not one big problem. It's a bunch of little ones pretending to be big. And you know exactly how to break them apart and win. You've got to understand, starting isn't about knowing everything. It's about building momentum. Momentum is the real game changer. Once you take that first step, something powerful happens. Your mind shifts from I can't to I can. Your energy rises. Your creativity kicks in. You start seeing options you couldn't see when you were standing still. But none of that happens if you don't move. Too many of you are paralyzed by fear. Fear of failing, fear of looking stupid, fear of wasting time. But here's the truth, and the only way to fail 1,000% of the time is to never start. You think you're being cautious, but really you're letting fear run the show. You're waiting for the day you'll feel ready. Let me break it to you. You will never feel 100% ready. Not for the big stuff. Not for the stuff that matters. The fear you feel, that's the sign you're about to grow. The greats, they don't wait for clarity. They create clarity by moving. They take the first step and then adjust as they go. They understand that action brings answers. You want to know the fastest way to figure out what works. Start. The moment you step into the arena, you start learning. You get feedback. You get experience. You make adjustments. That's how you get the right solution, by moving through the wrong ones first. And don't get it twisted. Starting small still counts. That phone call you've been avoiding, make it. That draft you've been putting off, write it. That meeting you've been scared to schedule, put it on the calendar. Every little action builds confidence. And confidence is like compound interest. The more you invest, the faster it grows. Listen, winners don't wait for the stars to align. They make moves under cloudy skies. They don't wait for the path to be clear. They start walking and trust themselves to figure it out along the way. That's how you solve big problems. That's how you make progress. Because progress kills fear, and fear kills progress. You've got to decide which one's going to win. So stop sitting on the sidelines. Stop making excuses disguised as planning. Stop pretending you're waiting for the right moment when really you're just scared. Get up, take the step, make the move. You don't need every answer right now. You just need the courage to start. The rest will show up when you do. Here's what happens. You get hit with a challenge, and instead of facing it, you start thinking about everything that could go wrong. You replay the worst case scenario over and over in your mind until it feels real. You give the problem time to grow fangs, claws, and a bad attitude. And then by the time you finally decide to face it, it's not just the problem standing there. It's your fear standing there too. And fear will make you freeze. Fear will make you doubt yourself. Fear will make you quit before you even start. The greats don't let that happen. They know the secret. Move before the fear has time to multiply. The quicker you act, the less time fear has to build a case against you. The longer you wait, the better fear gets at convincing you're not ready. You're not smart enough. You're not strong enough. But when you act fast, fear doesn't take the wheel. You got to catch yourself in that moment when you start overthinking. That's the danger zone. Overthinking is just fear in disguise. It looks like being careful, but it's really just feeding the monster. You've got to shut it down. Stop giving fear-free rent in your head. Stop letting it sit there and collect interest on your hesitation. And let's be real, most of the time, once you finally face the thing you've been avoiding, you realize it wasn't that bad. You realize you wasted weeks, months, sometimes years stressing over something you could have handled in days. The fear was bigger than the fact. And if you don't learn that lesson, you're going to keep repeating the cycle, letting fear grow until it runs your life. The truth is, fear is only strong when you feed it. The moment you starve it, by acting, by moving. Soon poor. By doing something, it gets weak. It starts shrinking. And here's the best part. Every time you beat fear once, it loses a little bit of power over you the next time. You build courage like a muscle. So don't give your problems time to get bigger than they are. Don't give fear time to write a story in your head that isn't even true. Face it now. Move on it now. Because the longer you wait and the scarier it gets and the sooner you move, the smaller it becomes. You can't let fear grow. You've got to grow faster than the fear. I don't care how smart you are, how skilled you are, how much you've done. There are going to be problems too big for the handle alone. That's not a knock on you. That's just reality. The smartest leaders aren't the ones with all the answers. They're the ones who know how to find them. They use the minds around them. They tap into the experience of others. They're not afraid to say, I don't know, but I'm going to find someone who does. And here's the thing. When you try to solve everything alone, you're not just slowing yourself down. You're draining your energy. You're burning yourself out. And by the time you finally get close to a solution, you've got nothing left in the tank to execute it. But when you work with a team, you multiply your capacity. You've got more eyes on the problem, more brains generating ideas, more hands ready to move when it's time to act. That's leverage, and leverage wins wars. Look, there's no trophy for doing it all by yourself. There's no bonus check for suffering in silence. What there is, if you keep trying to do it solo, is frustration, burnout, and missed opportunities. Because while you're over here struggling alone, someone else out there is putting together a squad, and they're solving problems twice as fast. You've got to be humble enough to say, I need help. And that's not weakness. That's wisdom. Wisdom says, I can move faster with the right people by my side. Wisdom says, I'm strong enough to admit I don't have it all figured out. Wisdom says, the goal is more important than my ego. And here's the bonus. When you bring people in, you're not just solving the problem. You're building relationships. You're building trust. You're building a network of people who show up for you the next time you're in a fight. Big problems have a way of showing up again and again. And every time they do, you'll have a stronger crew ready to handle them. So stop trying to be a one-man army. Stop thinking you've got to carry the weight alone. Learn to use the resources around you. Build your team. Lean on your team, because when the problem is big, the smartest thing you can do isn't to fight harder. It's to fight together. That's how you win the battles that matter. You've got to understand. Big problems are like tests, and the goal isn't just to pass. It's to learn the material so when it shows up again, you ace it without breaking a sweat. Every time you figure something out, every time you navigate a tough situation, you're adding to your toolbox. You're stacking weapons you can pull out when the next challenge knocking. And trust me, it's coming. Life, business, leadership, they're not smooth highways. They're rocky, uneven roads filled with potholes and roadblocks. You can either see those roadblocks as curses, or you can see them as training grounds. The people who win are the ones who treat every problem as practice. They're the ones who say, all right, I've seen this before. I know how to handle it. But here's the key. You've got to be intentional about the lesson. Don't just solve the thing and move on. Ask yourself, what worked? What didn't? Where did I waste time? Where did I lose focus? How could I handle it better next time? Because if you don't evaluate, you're going to repeat the same mistakes, and the problem's going to feel heavier the second time. I need you to shift your perspective. Stop thinking of big problems as setbacks and start thinking of them as setups. That challenge you just overcame, that's proof you're stronger now than you were before it showed up. And when you carry that proof with you, it changes the way you walk into the next battle. You don't walk in scared. You walk in confident. You walk in saying, I've been here before. I've handled worse. And here's the thing about strength. It's not just for you. When you grow from your problems, you can help someone else grow from theirs. You can mentor. You can inspire. Your strength becomes someone else's courage. And that's when you really start making an impact. Not just surviving problems, but using your experience to lift others through theirs. So the next time you're in the middle of a big, messy, exhausting problem, don't just fight to get through it. Fight to get something from it. Take the lesson. Take the skill. Take the growth. Because one day, that same weight that once felt impossible is going to feel light. And when it does, you'll realize the problem wasn't just a problem. It was the very thing that made you powerful enough to win the next one.